Today we're really getting into something fascinating, exploring those fundamental questions we all grapple with, don't we?
Mm-hmm. The big ones. What's life really about? What happens, after? Is there more to us than just biology?
Exactly. And most people leave it at philosophy, maybe belief. But we're talking about Robert Monroe today.
Monroe.
Yeah.
Yes, a truly unique figure.
He wasn't just asking, he was, well, thrust into finding answers through direct, intense experience.
Right, a pragmatic radio guy suddenly dealing with, well, reality itself cracking open. It completely changed the game for consciousness research.
That's what sets him apart, isn't it? He didn't just have these experiences, he mapped them, he documented them.
Meticulously. And then, crucially, he developed ways for others to potentially access these states too. He wasn't just an explorer, he was a tool maker.
So, our mission here isn't just recounting his life story, it's diving deep into consciousness itself, seen through his eyes, the eyes of a relentless experimenter.
We'll follow his path from those first shocking out-of-body experiences. OBEs, as we'll call them.
Right. All the way to Hemisync and the Monroe Institute.
And our guide for this is Ronald Russell's biography, The Journey of Robert Monroe. It's incredibly detailed.
Yes, Russell really documents not just the experiences, but the rigorous scientific approach Monroe tried to bring to them, the validation attempts.
Which is key. And for you listening, if you're already on this path, exploring these deeper realities...
Then this isn't going to be Consciousness 101.
No, definitely not. We're aiming for those sharper insights, the practical understandings, really appreciating the structure he brought to what's often dismissed as purely subjective.
We're skipping the fluff, getting straight into the implications of his work.
So let's start with Monroe himself, before all this began.
Picture the 1950s. Successful American radio executive. Very grounded.
Extremely. Russell calls him no-nonsense, practical, indeed irreligious, at the top of his game professionally.
Conventional life. Totally predictable. And then, bam,
Yeah.
April 1958.
Everything changes. Spontaneous out-of-body episodes just start happening.
And these weren't just weird dreams. They were physical, weren't they?
Oh, very physical. He described actual seizure-like feelings initially, then these intense vibrations sweeping through his body.
Not just a flicker. Persistent. Lasting minutes, sometimes happening multiple times a night.
Imagine that. For someone so rooted in the physical, the tangible, the sheer disorientation must have been immense.
Absolutely. His first reaction wasn't fascination, it was pure fear.
He genuinely thought he was going crazy, losing his grip on reality.
He sought medical help, right?
Yeah.
Looking for a cure.
Multiple doctors. He was desperate for a diagnosis, something neurological to explain it away. It just shows that huge gap between his ordinary life and this impossible thing that was happening to him.
The guy who built a media empire, suddenly facing something completely outside his known universe.
But here's the fascinating part, the turning point. Instead of just staying scared or trying to suppress it,
Which would be understandable.
totally, he shifted. That innate curiosity took over. He moved from resistance to intense exploration.
Russell mentions he became obsessed for years. Obsessed with the question, were these experiences real?
That became the driving force. Not just accepting them, but interrogating them, testing them against reality.
And reality got complicated very quickly for him, didn't it?
Extremely tricky. Sometimes during an OBE, he'd get verifiable information, like knowing about an event happening somewhere else, which he could later confirm.
Okay, so that anchors it slightly.
Slightly. But often, these journeys took him to what he called more interesting places. Realms completely unlike anything physical.
Unknown territory, with beings, environment.
Exactly, places that seemed to have their own existence, independent of him.
This must have led to some profound questions.
Fundamental ones. What kind of reality did these places have? Why me? And crucially, what am I supposed to do with this?
These weren't just intellectual puzzles for him, they felt like directives.
Right, and that shows his inherently scientific approach, even to the mystical. Observe, experiment, document. Treat the non-physical like a new field of study.
It's also important to understand he didn't fit easily into boxes. He wasn't conventionally religious.
No, he was quite repelled by dogma, by hypocrisy in organized religion. He saw it as limiting.
Nor was he a traditional scientist, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have the academic credentials, and he sometimes seemed skeptical of them.
He was. He valued direct experience over formal qualifications sometimes. His background was radio, after all.
But in a deeper sense, he was both profoundly religious and scientific.
Absolutely. Religious in his relentless search for meaning, for understanding the universe, for acting with integrity.
And he had these incredibly mystical experiences, but resisted being turned into a guru.
Always kept that light touch, as Russell puts it.
Yeah.
He wanted to learn and share, empower others, not create followers.
And undeniably a scientist in spirit. Curious, willing to test everything, always experimenting.
That empirical drive is what really paved the way for everything that followed. His unique blend of open-mindedness and rigorous inquiry.
So, as he went deeper, he realized he needed to change his own approach to these experiences.
Yes, that was a critical realization. He saw that trying to control them, to force things, was actually limiting.
Interesting. So the key was letting go.
Precisely. He felt the imperative was to remain passive, allowing his total self to take over. Surrender, essentially.
A shift from effort to allowance.
And that shift opened up, as he put it, an entire new era in his out-of-body activities. It was a profound change in perspective.
And this allowed him to start mapping things more systematically.
Exactly. He began developing a framework, a way to categorize these altered states and the realms he accessed. He called them focuses.
These weren't just ideas, were they? They were specific, identifiable states.
Yes, reproducible states of awareness that he and his research team could learn to recognize and eventually deliberately access using specific techniques. It gave them a common language.
So focus 1 is just normal waking life.
Right. Baseline consciousness. Then you have focus 10.
Ah, the famous mind awake, body asleep.
Exactly. Deep physical relaxation, almost trance-like, but the mind stays sharp, lucid, perfect for exploration without bodily distractions.
Then focus 12.
Expanded awareness. A wider perception, more intuitive understanding, like the aperture of your awareness opening up.
And focus 15, the state of no time. That sounds radical.
It is not just timelessness, like losing track of the clock. It's perceiving events non-sequentially. Past, present, potential futures, experienced more like a simultaneous tapestry.
Wow, that changes everything about causality memory.
Profoundly. It offers insights into connections you wouldn't see linearly, and then further out, Focus 27 emerged. The reception center, or the park.
A transition point, perhaps.
Seems like it. And early on, he explored a complex realm he called Locale 2-Second.
What was Locale 2 like?
It seems like a sort of energetic space influenced by unresolved human stuff. He found repressed emotional patterns there, even beings that seemed insane or drugged.
Like echoes of consciousness.
Perhaps. But also, crucially, that tranquil park area for the recently deceased. A kind of way station. It suggested consciousness continues, and our inner states leave energetic traces.
Navigating all this must have been terrifying at first.
Oh, undoubtedly. He talks about his arm going through the floor, the rug, the ceiling, floating up against the ceiling, looking down at his own body.
That's not metaphorical, that's visceral, challenging your very sense of self and reality.
Absolutely. And then there were the helpers.
These unseen entities.
Yes. Mysterious figures, sources of guidance. They seemed to understand his needs, but defied easy identification. It pointed strongly towards external intelligence in these realms.
Unseen guides, almost.
It seemed that way, offering assistance from beyond his own mind.
What's so compelling is how he took these utterly reality-bending experiences and tried to structure them, understand them logically.
Right, he was trying to build a map, a methodology for something that defies known physical laws. And that process itself raises huge questions about the nature of reality.
Bringing an empirical framework to the ineffable.
And that systematic approach really took flight with Hemisync.
The technology, let's unpack that. The science behind it is binaural beats, right?
Fundamentally, yes. Play slightly different frequencies to each ear through headphones.
And the brain perceives a third frequency, the difference between the two.
Exactly. So 440 hertz in one ear, 434 hertz in the other. Your brain generates a 6 hertz beat internally.
This effect was known for a long time, but mostly ignored.
Discovered back in 1839, then largely forgotten until Gerald Ester's work in 1973 brought it back to scientific attention.
And that's when Monroe's team, Dennis Minerick, Tom Campbell, picked up on it.
They saw the potential. They realized it wasn't just an auditory curiosity.
This is where the leap happens.
Yes. They figured out they could use these binaural beats to gently guide the brain towards very low frequencies below hearing range, but associated with altered states.
And the key observation was
brainwave synchronization. Listening to these specific frequencies seemed to bring the left and right hemispheres of the brain into phase, into synchrony.
Hemispheric synchronization. Hemisync.
Precisely.
But the real proof, the moment they knew it was more than just theory.
That came with Campbell and Menerick. They were listening to the tapes in separate isolation booths.
Wow.
They reported seeing the same visuals. hearing the same telepathic communications, experiencing the same clarity simultaneously.
Whoa. Shared subjective experience induced technologically.
Exactly. Monroe's understated reaction was classic. Now that tells you something, doesn't it? That undeniable shared experience proved it. This stuff was real.
Not just in one person's head. Reproducible. Shareable.
That validation was the springboard. They could then refine the hemisync signals to reliably induce specific states, like Focus 10.
That mind-awake, body-asleep state.
Perfecting access to it, allowing deep mental clarity and exploration while the body was deeply relaxed, physiologically quiet.
Which is counterintuitive from a standard neurological view, where awareness often correlates with high brain activity.
Right. Monroe's work suggested a different relationship between brain state and conscious awareness, more nuanced.
So looking at the big picture, this was huge. A scientific method, using sound, opening a repeatable pathway to states previously considered mystical or purely imaginary.
It shifted the conversation entirely. Not, do you believe, but can you experience this? It democratized exploration.
From that point, Monroe wanted to share this more widely.
Yes, he established the Whistlefield Research Laboratories, ingeniously built using materials from a failed housing project.
Purpose-built, though. Isolation chambers, control room.
All designed for consciousness research. And this evolved into the Monroe Institute of Applied Sciences.
Making it official, bringing it to the public. The first big program was the Gateway Voyage.
Launched in '77 at Feathered Pipe Ranch, initially focused on guiding people into Focus 10 and 12.
Mind awake, body asleep, and expanded awareness.
Yes. Later, they incorporated Focus 15, the state of no time, and participants often reported profound experiences.
Mystical states, Kundalini-type energy movements, things associated with deep spiritual shifts.
Exactly. Hemisync provided a safe, structured environment where people could access the states conducive to these powerful internal shifts.
And a big part of its success was the guidance, right? Monroe's voice.
Absolutely critical. The scripted instructions accompanying the hemisync signals described as the best play Bob ever wrote, delivered in his gentle, authoritative voice, were incredibly reassuring, guiding people through unknown territory.
Beyond Gateway, other programs emerged.
Yes, more specialized ones. Guidelines and PPP, the Personal Resource Exploration Program. Those involved monitored sessions in the isolation booths for more tailored work.
Allowing deeper dives for individuals.
And then came Lifeline, which had a very personal origin.
Conceived with his wife, Nancy, during her illness.
Yes, he saw it as a kind of death insurance, a way they could potentially meet again if one of them passed.
Wow. Applying the exploration directly to the transition of death.
It offered a framework for navigating dying, exploring belief system territories, and reaching Focus 27, the park, that transition place, alleviating fear.
That evolved into the Going Home program, too, helping caregivers as well.
Right. Aimed at overcoming the fear of death for everyone involved, even suggesting shared experiences of the afterlife were possible. A truly compassionate application.
Building this kind of unconventional institute couldn't have been easy, though.
No, there were definite challenges. Staffing was tough, finding people skilled in both the non-physical and practical management.
And Monroe's management style could be tricky, juggling businessman Bob and cosmic Bob.
Yes. That duality could lead to inspiration, but also fiction and financial stress sometimes. It's very human.
But the impact on participants seems undeniable.
Overwhelmingly positive. So many people reported life-changing experiences, genuine turning points, direct knowledge of something beyond the physical.
So the Institute became more than just a tech hub. It was a place for transformation.
A crucible, really, where people could confront fear, belief, the unknown, using these tools. Moving from theory to direct experience.
The research accelerated with the Explorer team, didn't it?
Hugely. These dedicated individuals spent hours in explored states, assisting the research.
And they reached a point of communicating verbally while in Focus 10.
Astonishingly, yes. Using the microphone headphone setup, it became almost normal conversation, despite being in deep altered states.
And they encountered invisible helpers, or guides.
Consistently. These non-physical entities provided information, healing advice, fitness tips, psychological insights, a form of channeling, really, before it became mainstream.
One famous example is the Patrick event.
Ah, yes, Patrick O'Shaughnessy. Rosalind McKnight channeled this supposedly lost 19th century sailor.
The details were incredibly specific. Birthplace, ship name, cause of death.
Born Oban 1821, Cook on the Lorabelle, sank 1879 after an explosion. Extremely precise.
And Monroe guided this consciousness, Patrick, towards acceptance.
He did. Helped him understand he was deceased and could move on. The recording is incredibly powerful.
It really makes you question identity, persistence after death, help from beyond.
It challenges fundamental assumptions about separation and continuity.
And the explorers provided other kinds of insights too, like remote viewing. Joe McMoneagle.
Right. The star remote viewer from the military's secret programs. He trained with Monroe using hemisync.
To enhance his abilities.
Significantly, it cut his prep time down to just 5 minutes.
And the Mars viewing. That's famous.
Astounding, given only coordinates by Hal Puthoff, no context. He described Martian terrain, structures, even ancient inhabitants, very large people from 1 million years ago.
And there was a physical sign.
Yes, a skin potential voltage reversal. A measurable physiological shift indicating a distinct change in his perceptual state during the viewing. Concrete evidence of consciousness operating non-locally.
Other explorers had different talents, medical insights.
Winter channeled Yosemite Sam for accurate medical diagnoses. Rhea did body scans, perceiving energy fields related to health there, energy, she called it.
The sheer range of information they accessed is remarkable.
And its consistency, sometimes verifiable nature, strongly suggests it's not just imagination. It points to a wider field of accessible information, a non-local consciousness.
The applications of hemisync then branched out dramatically into healing.
Yes, the surgical support series with Dr. Art Gladman was huge, used before, during, after surgery.
The results were significant. Less anesthesia, faster recovery.
Quantifiably so. And that effect of Monroe's voice, "You are not alone," was psychologically powerful. The double-blind trial showing a 75% reduction in pain med needs is compelling evidence.
That's concrete, and other medical uses followed.
Dr. Brian Daly's work with cancer patients, the chemotherapy companion, radiation companion, and the positive immunity program for autoimmune conditions.
It also found uses in learning.
Yes. Devin Edrington's school trials showed improved concentration. Barbara Bullard's remembrance music helped those with ADD.
And even basic things like stress relief, sleep.
The Catnapper program for restorative short sleep. It all ties back to Monroe's core idea. Focused consciousness holds solutions.
The answers are within us, accessible through the right states.
And hemisync was the key, the training wheels as he saw it.
Not meant to create dependency.
No. The goal was always for people to learn to access these beneficial states at will, eventually without the technology, to realize their own innate capacity.
Which really begs the question, how does a tool for OBEs become so effective for health, learning, growth?
It speaks to the universality of these conscious states. The same expanded awareness that allows non-physical exploration also unlocks potential for physical well-being and enhanced function. It connects it all.
In his last decade, Monroe had two big goals, didn't he?
2 driving aims. 1, prove death is a gateway, not an end.
And 2?
A massive evolution in human consciousness, a species-wide awakening.
He definitely succeeded with the first for many people, through Lifeline and going home.
Absolutely. He offered experiential proof, easing fear, showing connection was possible beyond death. A profound gift.
But he felt he failed on the second goal,
Ah.
the massive evolution.
He did express that feeling. Challenges in scaling up programs, internal frictions, it felt short of his grand vision.
But maybe failure isn't the right word.
I agree, because what he did achieve was monumental in a different way. He put the tool, hemisync, into the hands of others.
He created the potential.
Exactly. And those others, doctors, teachers, therapists, researchers, they took that gift and ran with it, applying it within their own fields.
So the growth became decentralized, organic.
Exponentially. Pain management, learning, cancer support, stress, sleep, autism, stroke recovery. The applications just kept multiplying year after year, driven by this diverse community.
So maybe not one massive leap, but countless ripples creating a rising tide.
A far-reaching practical legacy built on empowering others. That feels like profound success to me.
In those later years, people describe him as the wise old man from the mountaintop.
Affectionately, yes. Coming down to share his insights, his humor, his incredible stories, guiding people into deeper states, sometimes just with his presence.
But always with humility, right? Resisting that guru label.
Always. Don't believe anything I say, go find out for yourself. That was his mantra. Or the classic, I'm just a monkey who fell out of a tree.
Emphasizing direct experience above all else.
That insistence on personal verification is perhaps his most vital legacy.
He faced intense personal challenges too, especially with Nancy's illness and passing.
Deeply impacted him. He actually restricted his own non-physical travel for a while afterwards, finding attempts to connect with her too raw, too overwhelming emotionally.
Even the master explorer needed time to process profound human grief.
It shows the integration required. The human element was always present.
So for you listening, what's the takeaway from Monroe's incredible journey?
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that rigorous personal exploration, honestly shared, can fundamentally shift our understanding of reality.
He didn't just have experiences, he built a pathway.
A methodology, a way for anyone to potentially explore those reservoirs of life of which we do not dream, as William James put it. It's an invitation to your own exploration.
So, to wrap up, Monroe's journey took him from accidental OBEs to becoming a systematic cartographer of consciousness.
Leading to Hemisync, a framework for non-physical reality, and transforming personal experience into a practical system for thousands.
Giving people tools for direct access.
And his core challenge echoes. Don't just believe, go find out for yourself. Use the tools, conduct your own inquiry into existence.
Which leads to a final thought for you to consider.
If our five senses are just biological illusion computers, as one explorer put it, tuned to only one slice of reality,
what other perceptual tools might we all possess, just lying dormant, atrophied from disuse?
and could practices like using Hemisync or any deliberate cultivation of altered states be the key to reactivating those innate capacities?
To truly directly know our interconnectedness, our oneness with all. What awaits your own exploration right at the edge of your current reality?